Precisely podcast, Happy Hour edition. Precisely's Happy Hour is a podcast about one specific game that we have played through. And in today's episode, we will be diving deep into Ori and the Will of the Wisps. I'm your host, Beau, and with me is my beautiful wife, Kaila.
Hi.
And we have a very special guest for his first appearance on Precisely, our friend and our tattoo artist, Chad Glazer. How are you?
Great. How are you doing?
We are doing great.
Awesome.
So you let me borrow your extra Xbox One just to play this game.
Yes. Yeah.
Which we very
the
much
collector's edition. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. What is it? Gears of War collector's edition?
Yes.
It's the most annoying Xbox I've ever touched. It literally makes a sound every time I boot it up or put a disc in or shut it down.
It's a noisy thing.
Yeah, it's gimmicky.
But, you know, if you played the game, you would understand what the noises were, and I think they'd be more tolerable.
It sounds like it's dying all the time.
If you enjoyed the game, you'd probably find it tolerable.
Yes,
Just because you play
correct.
it doesn't mean you liked it.
Yeah.
That is also correct.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like it's dying every time I boot it up, but it's okay. Either way, I thank you very much for letting me borrow an Xbox One because, you know, we played Ori and the Blind Forest as soon as it came out for the Nintendo Switch, which was probably a year ago.
Yeah.
And then I introduced you to that game, 2 months ago, 3 months ago?
Yeah, I probably would have never played it if it wasn't for you coming in and talking about it.
Yeah. So what did you like about Ori and the Blind Forest?
The Blind Forest? Well, I liked that it was soothing, relaxing, and then I wanted to rip my hair out of my skull. So, yeah. I mean, it all had every one of them elements in it, so I definitely enjoyed that.
Yeah. Have you ever played a game like Ori before?
I mean, probably. Nothing comes right off the top of my head. But
so
yes, I know other games made me want to rip my hair out of my head.
Yeah, absolutely. So Ori, like by definition, like people classify it as like a platformer or a Metroidvania type game, which you've played Metroid or Castlevania games.
Oh yeah, mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's essentially, you know, collecting things to be able to go back to previous spots and be like, oh, now I can get up there to that area. And then that unlocks that whole spot or area.
Ori is actually pretty similar in the style to Song of the Deep.
Yeah.
Yes, that game was great.
Oh, you played Song of the Deep?
I played it first. Are you kidding?
Oh,
yeah,
my
he's
gosh.
the one that introduced us to that, actually.
Is?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I don't remember that. I just remember being absolutely obsessed.
Yeah,
that game was great.
Oh, that was such a good game. I want a second one. Like,
I know, me too. I heard they were in the works of something.
Oh, I'm not holding my breath.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah, and that would be cool. So how Kaila and I got introduced to the original Ori and the Blind Forest was one of her previous employers that she nannied 2 kids for.
Yeah.
He invited us over, or I was there to pick Kaila up, and he's like, oh, come in, Beau. Like, you got to check out this video game that I got called Ori and the Blind Forest.
He knew how into gaming you were, but he knew that you weren't an Xbox guy.
Yeah.
So he was like, let me show you the ways of the Xbox.
And I was like, Xbox sucks.
He showed us the opening sequence of Ori and the Blind Forest, and I was like, I need it.
Yeah. Oh, it totally breaks my heart that you're not an Xbox fan. It really is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know.
Oh, I know.
And I still am not an Xbox fan after all this, but we'll talk about that near the end of the podcast.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And I think maybe it could be Ori's fault that I'm not.
It is. It is. So that's why you need to borrow it further and play more on it and then make your decision thereafter.
Yeah. I mean, I think Xbox is doing a lot of good things right, but we'll talk about that later. mainly, yeah. So we saw Ori and the Blind Forest at a past employer's house of Kayla's, and both fell in love with it. And we're like, this looks great, but we're not going to buy an Xbox for it. Like, I thought about it, and sure enough, like, a few months later, it got announced for the Switch, but then didn't come out for like a year later. And I was like, cool. Like, we'll just wait for that. Downloaded it right away, and we played through that together, which we love doing for like first-person platformer puzzle games.
Yeah, it's fun to play games with you where I get really frustrated at difficult parts, and then you get to do those parts.
Yeah.
And then I play everything else.
She plays all the easy parts.
Do you know that game was actually released with the Xbox One S as something that just came as a code for the Xbox when you bought it?
Yeah, like a pack and players, whatnot.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Actually, my one buddy, Unsealed Games on Instagram, he said that he bought his original Xbox because of Ori and the Blind Forest.
Oh, wow.
That came with it. Yeah, I was like, wow, that's something I would have done.
Sweeten the pot.
So because of Will of the Wisps. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's such a bad tongue twister. Because that story goes right after the ending of Blind Forest, can we recap what happened in Blind Forest?
I will.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's the story of Ori essentially finding the way back to his mother, his pseudo mother, who she like cared for him and raised him, and then this like darkness started to overtake the forest. It's killing all of the plants and stuff, and she like can't survive. And he wakes up one day and she's no longer there, and he's like, well, shit, I gotta fix this.
Yeah.
So he goes on this quest, and then he discovers this like evil owl is essentially keeping the light from the forest. So it's all about him, essentially trying to like defeat this owl so that the light can come back to the forest, to bring back the forest to life. And then of course it gives you the heartbreaking backstory of why the owl is evil and why she's trying to keep the light away. And, she's trying to save her own children, her own eggs. It's an emotional story.
It sounds like it.
It's going to make me cry all over again. Bottom line is, Ori does save the forest. The mother owl essentially sacrifices herself to bring the light back so that she can save her final egg, her final child.
Yeah.
And then Ori takes it upon himself to take that egg back to his family, his chosen family, to raise and care for. And that's where Will of the Wisps starts with the egg hatching and the owlet being born and the shit that ensues.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of shit ensues.
A lot of shit ensues.
Are you mentioning that this is going to be a spoiler on this game?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you for reminding me, Chad.
All right.
So yes.
By the way,
if you got this far into the podcast and haven't realized, we are going to spoil a lot of Ori for you.
Spoiling the
hopefully,
fuck out of this game.
Hopefully you already played it. The title of this is going to be Ori and the Will of the Wisps. So hopefully...
you should put spoiler in the title.
Spoiler of the Wisps.
Spoiler of the Wisps.
Dude, it's such a weird verbiage to say it.
Wisps.
Yeah.
I mean, plural wisp has always been a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, why? Like, why do they gotta do that?
Because it's all the S's. You just sound like a snake.
Yeah.
It's just
or like you're really...
Just like saying Irish wristwatch.
What?
What?
Irish
wristwatch.
You said it all right.
I mean, I had to really take my time.
Irish wristwatch. Yeah, that's hard.
Yeah, of course.
I like that. You've been holding on to that one for a while.
Oh, it's been in my back pocket for a while.
Good.
Oh, man.
So, just the differences right from the beginning of, let's just call it, what should we call it, Will? Ori and Will?
Ori and Will.
Yeah.
Ori and Will.
I don't want to keep saying Wisps. But Ori and Will, from Blind Forest, you know, it's such a brighter game. It seems like it's way more lively, way more characters, like NPC characters in the beginning.
Oh my god, yeah, there's at least doubled the amount of characters that you can interact with.
Oh, way more than that. I don't even think Blind Forest had any characters that you could really interact with.
Ooh, I don't remember.
Oh, you mean like the purchasing stuff?
Yeah.
Just or even just like talking, like to the little cat guys.
It kind of got a little repetitive that you had to talk to everybody again to make sure you got all the story out of them, though, by the time you were midway.
Yeah,
for sure.
3/4 of the way through, though.
There's always, you know, pros and cons to including those. I think the biggest difference right off the bat was just that you could tell that they had a bigger budget.
Yes. Yeah.
Like the graphics were so much brighter and clearer.
The backgrounds moved.
It looked like it was just really emphasized in such a nice way. I mean, it's such a beautiful game.
It just seemed like everything was alive in this world.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, both of the games are very beautiful. I mean, that's one of the main reasons why I wanted to play it was because it was just so pleasing to the eye. But
visually,
yes, absolutely. But the second one definitely took it up a notch. Yeah.
Almost too much at some points where the background got distracting, where I almost thought, you know, oh, I can go here. I see this branch, you know, up high in the sky. Let me jump on that because there's probably something hidden up there. And then it's like, oh, I can't jump on that branch. Even though that other branch back there I could jump on that looked almost identical, you know. But this one, for some reason, I couldn't jump on. So I was like a little taken back from that, you know, because I felt like Blind Forest pretty much, you know,
you knew what
you could do, or where you could go.
I totally think that was fully polished.
Yeah.
So, but I will say this: the Ori and the Blind Forest regular edition may have been like how this edition is for the Wisps, because it is not the definitive edition of it. Do you follow me?
Oh, well, yeah.
So, I mean...
So, like, the Switch version that we played, babe, is the better version that had, like, 2 extra upgrades.
Oh, okay.
Like, movements that you could do, I think, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And then it had some extra areas in it as well from the actual original version of it.
Oh, okay.
Which I forgot about
like
that.
The upgraded.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it probably ran a lot smoother than the original version.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So you think that might be the case with this one? Like this was the release, but then in like a year's time they're gonna
do a definitive.
I mean, that's very possible. I mean, because of how polished the first one was when I played it, like there was no lag whatsoever. There was no like pausing between screens. It was fluid the whole way through.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about that real quick since you brought it up.
The lag.
I was going to save it for the end, but oh my God, I've never experienced such bad lag in a video game, especially a newer video game.
Chad, I've got to be honest. I almost broke your controller because of the lag.
I had to yell at my wife multiple times, like, "Hey, this is not our Xbox. That is not our controller."
He did.
Stop.
I was scolded quite a few times.
It's fine.
I text Beau pictures of my thumb all red because of how
I saw the picture.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So there's a lot of lag in it that we experience, probably more than you. You're playing on what, an Xbox X?
Yes, the One X, yeah.
And we're playing on an S.
Yes.
Right?
So there's a difference in processor speed. So my lag was probably less than yours. And honestly, I mean, when it switched from one chunk of like puzzle area to another, that's when I noticed lag, like horizontally, not really vertically, horizontally, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah. Like, because I could be in a chunk and jump up and shoot up and keep going up, and I'm fine. But as soon as I go left and it has to migrate to the new area is when, like the little save icon comes up, and while that's spinning, that's when my lag hits till it actually catches up with itself. So, yeah, I got the same kind of effect, but probably just not as long as you guys did.
Yeah, and honestly, it booted us from the game probably over a dozen times as well.
Oh.
Yeah, because it
very
couldn't keep up.
Yeah,
it's so frustrating. It would we'd be mid jump and it would just completely freeze,
and then
we're like,
itself. And we're like,
okay,
Ugh.
And then of course it reboots you and takes you back.
The only time
further back to where you were
was on that worm. Oh my gosh, on the worm, on the final stretch up to the top. I was like almost out of the hole and it rebooted right there. But by then, I didn't know that was the end of that segment, but I was still really livid. It still sucked.
Yeah, absolutely. There was actually a part that Kaila was playing a couple days ago where she's like, do you see what's going on? And literally the texture of the video game was off in one
it was like
area.
Green screen.
Yeah, it was like a green screen. Yeah, it was really weird. It was like blue instead of like a rocky texture.
Yeah, it was complete. I was so messed up. I was like,
and then I think shortly after that,
experience for the first Xbox One S.
It was very
playthrough. Oh shoot!
Yeah,
it was rough, man.
And that's one of the reasons why I'm still not sold on Xbox. But I've also
you
heard.
Can't take this one into consideration.
I know, and I've heard from other people that they've been experiencing the same thing from Ori. So. I
noticed it too, but it was a little bit irritating, but I still loved the game enough to want to complete it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, for sure.
Yeah. And we did too.
Do you guys notice that happens a lot with newer games? That there's lag?
No.
Not hardly ever.
Okay, so this is like a rare occasion kind of thing.
Not like this.
Yeah,
especially with a newer game, you will experience bugs and stuff. Mm-hmm. But this just seemed like it had so many bugs where they didn't have enough people play through it on different types of systems.
Yeah.
I even heard similar things because this also came out for the PC. And I heard like a PC should always be able to run 60 frames per second, which this is how this game was built, 60 frames per second, which looks the best like visually. And it was running like 50 frames per second on PC with a little stuttering, like it never got up to 60 seconds. So yeah, with that, like they just need to put out a new patch, which I heard they're doing soon.
So do you remember 1 or 2 days before the game release that you said there was a Twitter debate over what to name the owl?
Yeah, Chad told me this, yeah.
So do you think because they waited until 2 days before to insert the name of the owl that like might have affected the gameplay?
No, that's just coding. That's
no, okay.
Yeah, no, that wouldn't affect.
I don't know these things, guys.
Yeah, no.
I'm a casual gamer at best.
It shouldn't, but maybe something went wrong with that for sure.
Yeah.
It's something that they should be able to patch out, without...
I don't know, because it is a load screen issue. That's the thing. When it loads the next chunk is when the lag happens. So, I don't know how they'll smooth that out. I guess it's possible, but I don't. It did it through the whole game. It wasn't just there was one level where it did it at this spot. It, did it from the start to the finish.
Yeah, exactly. So how many hours did it take you to beat this game?
I have 30 hours in it.
So after we beat it, I don't know what happened, Chad.
Yeah.
But it said we played it for 181 hours.
Are you kidding me?
So...
That was my 100%ed hours is 30 hours.
Yeah. So either we didn't shut off the Xbox at some point. I always like since I got it, I guess. I don't know. Like
Wow.
And I was thinking maybe that had something to do with the lag. That it was like computing. I have no idea. I would always close out of the Xbox.
Yeah, I mean, if it's off, it's off. I mean,
yeah.
120 hours.
181.
181 hours.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I don't even know if I had the game that long.
Wait, did you start it and like go to work and then come back and play it, or like how did that?
Either way, that's only 24 hours in one day. You know.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I have no idea, dude.
Yeah, I don't know either. I don't have.
I don't know.
For you.
Neither
it's
do
around 30 hours. I would say 30 hours.
Yeah, I would think so.
Comfortable.
And I think the original was only like you could probably beat it in like 6 to 10 hours.
Yeah, unless you're
maybe
trying to 100% it, then it takes.
Yeah, maybe 20. Yeah. So what are some of the key differences between the first and the second one? Because these were things that, I sort of disliked from the second one and that I really liked about the first one. One would be the saving feature.
Yes, I think that would clear up the lag issue too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of like that you had to work for your saves.
Yeah. In the first one.
Yeah.
Yes, agreed. Yeah.
Like,
so
you want to save this game, you better put the time in.
So with both of these games, you had health gems or whatever. What are they called? Orbs? Shards.
Orbs, whatever.
And then you also had energy shards that you could get throughout the game, and you would spend your energy by using like magic or like some type of skill, or you could save with your energy shards, which was a great feature, especially with a game that's so platformer heavy and so freaking hard at points where you're like, all right, I'm jumping from platform to platform with shit falling at me, things attacking me. Oh, cool. I just got through these two little jumps, these literally two little jumps. Let me save it right here in case I die, then I can come right back here. So as long as you had energy shards, you could go back there to your last save and literally take every jump and save it after every jump and work out each puzzle that way.
And you could go to an area and save and then go back to that same save spot to re-save again. Like if you completed something but you didn't have enough energy to save again, you could go back to your previous save spot.
I never did that.
It. Oh, really? We did that so many times.
Yeah, we did that, yeah.
Because there would be like a I don't know, something that we didn't
an
have
enemy
to deal
or
with
something, and
time.
we didn't have enough energy.
So we would go back and forth.
Did everything stay dead in the first one? I don't quite recall that. Like, if you killed off something and then went and saved, was it still dead when you came back, or did it?
Yes,
respawn?
as long as you're not too far away from it.
Yeah.
Like, it could be off screen and still not show back up, but once you go a little bit too far, then it will respawn itself, is what I can remember from it.
Well, I know the enemies respawn like crazy in the new one.
Oh,
yes.
My God. Yeah. Right and left.
I mean, and they even give you the option of having them spawn even faster. Did you
How?
It's in your list of things. Like in your, where you can assign 8 slots of stuff.
Oh, the shards?
Oh, yeah.
It is one of the options that you can actually make your enemies appear faster.
Oh, great.
And I never found that useful. Like,
why would you do that?
When I first got it, I was like, oh, well, like, then, like, for instance, where you had to use the feather to blow the bubble out of the way so that you could get it on the other side kind of stuff.
I fucking hated that part, yeah.
All right, well, maybe, like, using that made more bubbles come up faster. Like, something.
Yeah.
Like, I was thinking maybe that would be good for that, but I never used it.
Yeah. Which the bubble wasn't an enemy, so I doubt that that would have done it. Yeah.
But I mean, I never felt like, oh, it'd be good if I had 5 times the amount of enemies. It doesn't. Yeah. It just doesn't make
Never. Yeah.
Well, I think one of the obvious, biggest differences were the additional characters that you interacted with.
Yes.
And then the people that you would like buy your skills from, as opposed to earning each of your skills. Or you would earn all of them.
Yeah, so the original one, you gained experience points that then you could use to level up your tree, essentially.
Yes, I remember that now.
The tree.
Yeah, which was very simple. You know, you could grind out the same enemies over and over again and level up your tree that way. This one, you would level up by killing enemies, but then spending those experience points, essentially, which was the currency, with NPCs that would give you different like weapons or abilities or shards of some sort. Like you could get a bow and arrow from one of the NPCs that, you know, that bow and arrow used energy cells. Okay.
Okay, question for you.
Yes.
What were your final 3 inserts that you left the game with? Like
your actual like button?
Yes.
Presses? Okay.
What was your final 3?
So this was a question that I actually had for you as well on my notes. Yeah.
Our final 3 were the sword, the
healing,
and then the launch.
The launch that you got near the end.
Okay.
The jump.
The simple sword, or the one that has the thump, the slow hitter or the fast hitter?
Fast.
Yeah.
Really? I played the entire game with the slow hitter.
With the hammer?
Yes.
I don't know if we ever actually got the hammer.
Oh, we got the hammer.
Oh, okay.
I used the hammer.
That thing is
there
devastating.
Was some hammer
it's
time.
just slow. It's just slow, that's all. But I beat everything with that. Everything. That's interesting.
So what did you think about having the extra characters and like the other people that you interacted with?
I mean, I liked it. I mean, outside of having to go check them, because when you get stuck and you're like, where am I going? And then you have to talk to everybody to make sure, this had to be done in order to do this. Like, I lucked out with the looking glass. I mean, nobody told you that's where that went. I don't know if you want me to spoil that or not, but
the side quest thing.
With the looking glass.
I
no,
definitely
you
looked
didn't.
that up.
Oh.
Yes, I did.
Oh.
Yes, I did. I was so fed up.
Oh.
All right, save your self-righteousness for somebody else. It's quarantine time. I don't have time for this shit.
Hey, now.
You have
enough stress.
everything but time.
There's too much stress. I had to Google it. I'm weak, Chad. Weak.
I'll accept it. I lucked out. I just happened to stop by and was like, hey, I'm going to look and see what he has. And then it just happened to me. He was like, hey, I see you got that looking glass. Let me take it and give you this. I'm like, oh, shoot. That was lucky. Yeah, because there was nothing that led you to believe that that's the guy it was supposed to go to or anything. So
right, your creepy stalker.
Yeah, it was definitely difficult.
Honestly, I thought that character was a little unnecessary and sort of strange. Like, I've been watching you. You want to see?
Swipe or no swiping. Yeah.
Yeah, it was strange. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people enjoyed looking at. I mean, I didn't talk to him at all, except for that last the side quest thing.
Oh, now,
because
if you went to that and you look at it, is there any question marks on your list?
I mean, I'd have to go and look. There probably are.
I have 2 on there that I don't know what it is, and I have everything but buying the last 3 things from the one. What is it? Tak? Is that his name?
The
map?
The guy it's the guy that sells you maps. What's his name?
Oh, I don't remember. He's entertaining, though. It's funny to see him in all of the different spots where he's like, ooh, how did I get here?
You meet him in a certain place and he offers you the ability to show all the shards, show all the
yes.
Like there's 3 different options. One's like 6,000, one's 4,000, and one's like 2,000.
2,000. Yeah,
And I did not buy any of them because by the time I got there, I had already opened up that stuff. So I didn't feel the need to buy it.
Right.
That's the only thing I did not do in that game. That's it.
See, I feel like having that where, you have to buy the things, it's just like a way to get you to keep playing. Because if you've gotten close to the end and you've already used your life points or whatever you want to call them to buy other things, shards and abilities, like you would have to go back through the game to refight the different enemies to gain those points to be able to then go back and buy the maps.
Yeah, because grinding out 12,000 of them things isn't a quick process.
No, or you'd have to do like the combat shrines.
Ooh, yeah, I didn't think of that.
Like 15 to 20 times to get the amount of points. And you'd have to do that 30 to 45 times to be able to buy all 3 of the maps. It's just like unrealistic and honestly a little irritating.
Now, the first combat zone you come up on that you have to use your breakaway to break away the floor to go down the first time you're ever able to use the breakaway stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I went to that area and did not have the breakaway ability. So I ran off and grabbed one of the guys that hop at you and left him follow me the whole way to the breakaway zone. And he's the one that broke away the spot there. So I could get down and do that combat zone. And I got down,
I think we did that
combat zone. And now still, I got credit for doing everything, but it shows that quest is still active.
Oh,
that's annoying.
Yeah.
Like
it shows a question mark. It shows
so they weren't, the developers didn't expect anyone to be able to do it without
correct
having that. Yeah,
not only
that
it shows a question mark there, and it also shows that I did not break the wall down or the little gap. The gap line is still there. Yeah. Yep. So that's an error on their end.
That's annoying.
That sucks.
Especially for for a completionist who lives for those 100%.
Well, it did give me the credit for everything. I got the credit, but on my map, when I pull it up,
on the map,
shows that it says that I didn't do it, but I have all the completion of the missions done. So
that's weird.
I got the credit for it, but on the map, it still shows that it's an active quest.
And that's something that you dealt with on the first Ori.
Yep.
That you actually did 100% complete it, but yet it doesn't tell you that you did. You're at 98%?
99. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so outside of that stuff, gameplay was great. I love that.
Did you tell us what your 3 abilities were?
Yeah, it was the hammer, the healing, and the extra jump.
Oh, like the
triple jump?
No, the launch, the one you get.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Whatever that's called, I don't know. I didn't really pay attention.
So beyond those 3 moves, you also get shards, like power-up shards that you can help aid you in the game. And one of the first ones that we got was the triple jump.
And then the sticking to walls was also really early.
No. Okay, no. We didn't get it first. Sticking to walls we got first. But the triple jump was the one that we needed to advance at one point.
Mm-hmm.
Where we were like, where the hell can we go? Because it's a Metroidvania type game, we literally went from point A to point B back and forth over and over again, being like, I don't know where to go. And I was messaging you, and you're like, oh, I got past this part. Don't look up anything online. It's like, okay, I won't. That's fine. The only way I feel like we can get anywhere is to get the triple jump, which unfortunately costs 2,200 shards or something, or
whatever it was.
And we were at like 800 at the time because we spent it on other things, so we didn't realize that we needed or didn't need, and so it just took a bunch of grinding over and over.
We did the combat shrine.
Wait, is that where the 181 hours come from?
Maybe.
We definitely did not play it that much.
You know, the first thing that I bought was that butterfly. Did you purchase the butterfly?
Oh yeah, the
attacks for you or whatever.
Yeah,
I bought that, and I was like
that was
"This is worthless.
Useful.
I'm saving my shard money after that."
I don't think we used that at all.
I tried to use it, and I thought it was kind of shit.
Yeah.
I liked the flash that you could equip.
Later.
That we got
the light
towards
orb.
When you were in where like the spiders were.
The light orb.
Oh yeah.
No, the flash.
The flash. What's
Not
the flash?
light. The flash is where you had like a ring of light around you, so that you could go in the tunnels.
Yeah, the light orb.
Go in the cave and do all that.
But it's not the light orb. It was called flash.
Okay, all right, yeah.
The light orb.
It actually hurt
different.
enemies when they were in it.
Yeah.
Yes, and I used it quite a few times, especially at the last boss, because I couldn't always get a hit in. But that alone would give her it would attack a little bit. But I also used it when swimming a lot because attacking while swimming was a pain in the ass.
Yes.
Huh. Well, once you got the dash, that was pretty effective.
Yeah, I was not very skilled with the dash, if I'm being honest.
That's where I came in.
So I would be like, God damn it, Beau, you do it. And that's how that
when
went.
she was about to break your brand new controller that you lent us with your Xbox, I'd be like, all right, please give it to me. Let me take care of this.
Calm down, babe. It's just a video game.
Yeah.
And then 20 minutes later, you motherfucker, I can't believe this shit.
So, yeah, with that said, let's talk about our favorite and worst boss experiences. Because, I don't know if it's my worst or favorite, but the worm one was definitely difficult as fuck. Yeah. And it reminded me a lot of the original Ori.
Yeah, of the first thing that you had to do in the original Ori.
Yeah. Like that I remember you texting me about the Blind Forest being like, oh, I've been playing this game and it's been fun, but you didn't tell me that, I had to race the camera before I had to, that I'm going to die over and over and over again. I'm like, oh yeah, just wait. There's 2 more or at least 3 more that you have to do after that one. You're like, fucking great. But sure enough, a week after that, you were like, yeah, I beat the game. It was great.
Yeah. Well, I think I liked the first interaction with the owl, the large owl, where you had to crawl.
Oh, where you had to hide. You had to hide. Yeah.
To figure out where you needed to go to be hidden so that you weren't attacked immediately. I thought that was a good run. I liked that one.
I think that you did it was a very similar thing to the first game.
Yeah.
Hiding from the owl.
Yep.
Because you did that, I think, twice in the first game.
At least, yeah.
You had to do that, so.
You had to hide, but also be very quick.
Yes.
Yeah.
The music would get all intense.
And I think the worst thing for me was probably the worm level and the second half, or I should say the third half of the final boss ending.
What, you
like
don't like
end?
trying to float in midair?
Yes.
The very end of it?
Because I was like, what am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
I didn't know.
That's what I was saying, too.
Go?
Yeah.
It took me
and
forever
then,
just to figure that out.
With the amount of health that they had left, you're
Which
like...
was none?
Yeah, I know.
Well, no. It was a decent amount where it's like, all right...
the amount of health that you as Ori had left.
No.
I thought that's
the amount of health that the owl had left, you're like, one hit is not going to hurt this, but sure enough, all it took was one hit.
Yeah.
And it's just like, well, fuck. I've been dying over and over again, just trying to like.
Did you actually
land.
hit him, or did you send his own stuff back at him?
I sent something back at him. I think
that's what I did too. That was my finishing blow.
Yeah.
But yet, that shouldn't have killed him.
No,
it didn't though.
Or end it. You know.
I personally thought that one of not necessarily the hardest, but the boss that I disliked the most was having to fight the frog.
Oh.
No, not the spider.
I hated the spider.
The frog battle.
Just because I'm an emotional piece of shit, and like having that water creature controlling the frog and essentially having to kill like somebody that you know what I mean?
Yeah, like it's your buddy, but
like,
you have to take him out.
Yeah. The creators of this game must not have any emotions whatsoever.
Now, did you take his amulet back to him?
Yeah, and I put it like at the shrine and
right. Just make
Did the frog die?
Oh yeah, you kill him.
We killed the frog.
Oh.
The frog sacrificed himself for the greater good of it, like against his own will, because the water creature essentially like fucking aliened him and was in his chest and squirting out of his body.
Yeah, there was parts of this game that I did not play or see at all because Kaila was playing it without me.
Well, it's because you were playing a game in a different room.
Yes, that too.
Uh-huh.
But that's fine. That was one of them, though.
Yeah. The final boss battle, that one was very emotional for me. I didn't like it at all.
So I like the whole story about the final boss and like the main villain, I guess. His name was Shriek, I believe.
Her name.
Yeah,
her name.
Mm-hmm.
Was she crippled? Was she like she was obviously different from other
mutated
creatures?
Some way.
Mutated, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't, it doesn't obviously tell you. I think it's because
It showed it.
It showed that she was born during like what they called the decay. So I think that affected how she was born. Yes.
Okay.
And, man, just like such a heartbreaking backstory that like makes you.
That's all visuals for the most part. Like hardly any words.
Yeah, but the visuals are enough.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. Like she was born with the mom and dad
literally stone.
Literally in stone. If I tapped on them with like a little hammer, they would have like turned into ash, you know?
I just like really had hoped that it would have been, similar to the spider where you fought them, you like banished the darkness, and then they like came back into themselves and they could be redeemed. And that was not the case. And I ugly cried, and I am still not happy about it.
So either way, once you beat the final boss, she just goes back to like where her mom and dad was and like curls up next to him, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Ori 3, she's going to be best friends with everyone, probably.
Where she died sad and alone.
Was there any flyaway scene at the end?
No, I don't think so.
No.
No, she like curled up with her.
It was just
like
incredibly
inside the arms of the stone.
Yeah.
Oh my god, guys!
I mean, this is what happened.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It sucks, but yeah. So, all right, Chad and Kaila, what do you guys feel like the difficulty was compared to the original Ori? Like, how do you compare it?
Maybe 50% easier. But I'm thinking 50% easier because I was already familiar with the gameplay.
Yeah.
There was no learning curve. I was familiar with it, and it felt easier to play to me, put it that way.
Yeah, I don't think it was difficult by any means necessary. I mean, we did play it on normal. I don't know if the hard setting is a lot different, but I don't think this is necessarily a game that's meant to be all that difficult.
Yeah, I think the developers, especially for this one, developed the game so that it was more friendly to everyone that's used to this type of gaming and not.
I just think they made it to be a realistically playable game
Yeah.
for everybody. And then if you want that extra difficulty, you can play it on hard.
Whereas I felt like Blind Forest, the first one, was just fucking brutal.
I think, but that's also because we weren't used to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Blind Forest was like soothing, relaxing. The music was great, it was calm, and then you're like, I just want to slit my throat.
Yeah.
Because it is so hard. Like it had
it's
all
so fucking hard.
Oh, I know.
So many things that you had to play.
It was
about
so
100
fucking
times.
hard, but I really feel like you felt like it was soothing and relaxing because you were able to save whenever.
Yes.
You know? So that made you feel more relaxed. Whereas this one, it didn't really matter because it just saved whenever it wanted to, which ultimately benefited you. But at certain times, you're just like, oh, you know, in the original one, it wouldn't have saved here. I would have had to start from square one,
right.
You know? Like, so why am I starting here? Like, this is way easier. Like for the moving racing cameras where you have to essentially race the camera, you know?
And also in the first one, when you saved yourself in a traumatic spot, like where you were still able to save, like where you could find a common place where you could save, when you came back, it was horrible behind you and in front of you. So like if you wanted to try to retreat to gain some more life force or some shards, it was twice as hard because you had to get out of your situation.
Yeah. Yeah, I just felt like this one was a little, just sort of handed it to you after a while. I sort of just like told you what to do and how to do it better.
Yes.
I mean, yes and no, I think. I don't know. I mean, I think...
And with the upgrades, too.
I don't think all of the different things that they offered to play through the game with were necessary. Like,
yeah,
I would have thought that they should have made every single one of them things at least 100% necessary somewhere in the game.
Or at least more useful.
So that you use it, because there's stuff I didn't even use.
Yeah, where like the bow and arrow, you know, you could use that as a weapon, but really all that was used for was to shoot the blue orbs to like make the frog's tongue come out, you know, in the statues.
Yeah. Hollow, yeah.
Yeah. And like you could put on the it turns into 3 or 5 or something like that. I don't.
Yeah, the split.
So
we didn't use that either. I mean, because once we got the orb that you could throw, we only used that for parrying.
Yeah.
Or to melt the ice.
Well, the little fireball was interesting too, but it had to be full strength in order to jump off of it.
Yeah, which we talked about that. Yeah. So in the original Ori, you could get like a little orb that you threw up in the air and you could parry off of. Mm-hmm. And that's one thing that made both of these games amazing, is that you can parry off of any attack or any enemy, which I don't know, could you do any enemy in the original one?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So you can parry in the sense where you don't necessarily ever need to touch the ground if you're that fucking good at the game. Like, for the most part, as long as there's enough weapon or enough like
blue juice.
Yeah, enough enemies and artillery coming at you, like shots coming at you, you could just parry, and
which
kill
was the
everything.
Whole point of the end.
Yeah.
The final boss fight.
So with this one, you gain the orb at one point to be able to throw, and you can parry off that orb before you get the full just jump in the air, like shoot like a rocket. You get this little orb that you can throw. In the first one, you can put the location of that orb, the distance of it, up as high as you want or as low as you want. With the new one, it had to be full force, which was really hard to parry off of.
And you couldn't double parry off of it.
Yeah.
I tried that several times.
Yes. Oh, that's, what I was trying to do at that one cloud area.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
You know, when you first met the bear, and then you did the move that made the big snowball crash open the wall, and then all that stuff above you couldn't reach.
Yeah.
That's where I was trying to get up before I knew that there was a ball that I could parry off of. Eventually.
Yeah.
I tried that for a while. I was making myself pretty mad.
Yep. There's parts in the game where I was just like, I am pressing the right buttons, but it's not allowing me to do this.
Mm-hmm. And
it really pissed me off at one point.
I mean, I would have much rather had that than the butterfly.
Yeah, that move, the parry ball move thing that we're talking about is the thing that when I text you, I said, I just got the best thing in this game.
Yeah.
That was what I was talking about.
I remember. So, what do you guys think about the soundtrack of the game?
Oh, I always loved that. I love their music in both
Yeah,
games.
I think the music is really good. I think it really fits with each scene, each of the areas and the story that it's accompanying.
Yes.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound right. Yeah, I love the music. I think it's really beautiful.
I think I still like the opening music better on the first one than the second opening music. Like when you turn on the game and it makes the initial music when you turn it on.
Yeah.
I like the first one better than the second, but the second is still acceptable.
I need to hear the first one again, but either the pause menu or I think it's like when you're in the town in the second and this one, Will of the Wisp. It's so good.
Oh yeah,
like
absolutely.
It just plays over and over again, and I'm just like, oh, this is so relaxing. Like I could literally listen to this with headphones going to bed right now.
Mm-hmm.
Even if I'm not tired, I'm going to bed listening to this.
It's bedtime.
Yeah, I'm zonking out right now.
I mean, you can buy the playlist.
Oh,
the
I'm
soundtrack,
sure.
I mean.
Or I could just listen to it on YouTube for free.
Yeah. You could.
All right.
Yep, or you could support your musicians and buy it.
Yeah, so
you don't support musicians, huh, Beau?
Wow. So yeah, no, it is one guy that did all the music for it, and it's a really small team that actually made the original one. They had to like mortgage their house or houses. There was like 7 people, I think, on the original one, and everyone like left their jobs to like complete the game.
Wow, is that for real?
It's called Moon Studios is the developers of it, and it was their first game ever. They were like really passionate about it. They had their neighbors, their family, like all support it, like mortgage their homes to like get it out. And then Xbox found it and was like, "Yo, we want to buy this from you." And they're like, no. Like we'll put it on your platform, but it's not going to be just exclusive for you guys, like just so you know. And they're like, that's fine, like cool, like as long as we can have it on our platform before anyone else, that's fine.
Yeah.
And so it worked out in their favor. Like they're all millionaires now, so good for them.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas this one, they got more developers and more people into it, and I feel like it sort of, it changed up the feeling of it. It's not a tight-knit, this is what we want. It's more so a bunch of more ideas that came about with it. And it's still an amazing game. It's still a beautiful game. And for all the freaking lagging and shutting off of the Xbox and rebooting the actual game itself, I still fucking loved it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It was still a beautiful game. Would I give it a 10 out of 10? Hell no. Not at all. I personally think the first Ori is way better than this. And I only say that because it worked flawlessly and because it had a difficulty of it that made me really try over and over again as a gamer, where I was just like, I know I'm fucking this up somehow.
Well, at the end of the first one, I still wanted to play it. I still wanted to
play it. Oh, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew I was fucking something up, and then I would get through it, and I was like, cool, I did this, because this game is where it's at, and the controls were so fucking solid on it.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas this one, I could fuck something up and still keep going. I wouldn't die. And that sort of pissed me off. Like laser beams, I could run into and not die immediately, whereas the first one I would have died.
Yeah, even with a full stack
or whatever.
of health.
Yeah, I would have died immediately. So I was just like, this is sort of a crutch. You know, it's a handicap where it's not making me be a better gamer in any sense. It's just making me be like, cool, I have enough health to keep going. And
I wonder if they got slack for making it so finely difficult on the first game that they had to loosen their reins for the second one.
I don't care if they did or didn't. And maybe, maybe a higher difficulty, maybe hard mode, the lasers actually kill you.
Yeah.
On the first hit,
That's also true, yeah.
I don't know. And hopefully it is like that, where they don't compromise it that much. But yeah, I was a little disappointed on normal level, where I was just like, wow, I'm hitting these lasers that would have smashed me, and I would have had to start all over again on the original one. And now I can just hit the lasers 3 times in a row and still have some life and keep going.
Well, they
I just felt
they definitely changed something, because remember when I was talking to you earlier before the release, they said that you weren't going to be able to purchase all the upgrades in a single playthrough.
Yeah.
And that somewhere just got thrown out the boat.
Yeah, which I definitely was able to do that.
Yeah. Agreed.
I don't know if did we get all the shards, though?
I just got all the shards.
Okay.
I mean, after the fact.
Yeah. Yeah, either way, it's a lovely game, and I recommend it to everyone.
Yeah.
I mean,
maybe they'll polish it with a definitive edition of it, or they'll just polish it with an upgrade or something, put in a patch, and it'll make it amazing.
Yeah.
I hope so.
That would be nice. And maybe learn from their mistakes for the next one.
Yeah. So I know that there's achievements with the Xbox, and one of the achievements to 100% complete this game in every type of way is to beat it in 4 hours, less than 4 hours.
What?
Do you think you could do that, Chad?
Oh man, I don't know.
I guarantee you it would take you at least 6 times playing through it until you're like, this is how I have to do this.
You would have to
That's
break
a lot
down
of work.
exactly where you needed to go and use all your, you would have to warp to the closest place possible every time. You couldn't just run about.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think...
I know another achievement, I believe, is to not get any upgrades.
What?
While playing it. Yeah.
To not get any upgrades.
How would you be able to jump off of anything?
I don't know. I have no idea.
That doesn't make any sense.
I don't.
Why is that an achievement?
It's, go hard or go home type thing.
I don't think we would get any of the achievements. One of the achievements was don't touch any foul water or contaminated water, and I was within the first 20 seconds of playing the game I touched the bad water. What do you mean?
To see if you could swim in it off the bat, so I jumped in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's wild. I mean, the achievements are definitely for the non-faint of heart, but I want to play this game again. like just me, maybe.
Rude.
Well, no, like
Yeah, well,
with you playing, but like with you playing if you want to. But I want to play it on a higher difficulty. Just me, because I felt like this one was a little hard. But I want to do it after a patch happens where they're like, you won't get kicked from the game.
Yeah, that
You know, if
makes
we do
more
that,
sense.
we're gonna have to buy our own controller
Why?
because the chances of us breaking it while playing on
it
a
on
higher
hard.
level of difficulty
Oh,
are
it'll be fun. It'll be
really
fun.
high.
It'll be fun. Chad,
Okay.
don't worry about your controller. I got
Chad,
it.
you're not getting the
Your
controller.
It's safe.
controllers are
It's safe.
they are resilient.
Yes,
I don't know about
it's
that.
a safe controller in my
I'm
hands. at the
stronger than
very
I look.
least.
As long as
Yeah,
it doesn't
well-
get thrown, it will last.
I
Yeah,
make no
I agree.
promises.
So, Chad, do you have any closing statements before we end this podcast?
Okay, I'd say Blind Forest. I'd probably give that maybe like an 8.5 out of 10. And I'd say the Will of the Wisp right now, as it sets with all the problematic stuff unironed out, I would say probably a 7-1.
I think
Kaila,
that's pretty fair.
what would you do?
I mean, I think I would give Blind Forest probably around the same 8.5 to 9 out of 10. This one, Will of the Wisps, I would do, honestly, yeah, like a 7 out of 10. The lag issues alone were enough to make me want to break the TV. So
Yeah, she was very
frustrating.
angry.
Oh my gosh, so angry the whole time.
So for me, actually, I love Blind Forest. I just felt like that game controlled so well, and I love any platformer game where you have to be so good with the controls, and yet it controls so well. That game to me was a 9.5 all
Wow.
day. With the lagging issues in Will of the Wisps, I would still give it an 8.5, honestly, because I loved it. It was so good. But I also want to play it in hard mode and see how that is.
Well,
And
when they come out with a patch, we'll play at the same time. I'll break it out on hard mode. At
cool.
The same time.
I'm down with that. Yeah. I want to see what they change up with it. Maybe, maybe you take more damage or whatnot. I really felt like with this new game, the more that you played of it, the easier that it got to, because of all the unlockables and the shards that you could put on to yourself, like equip to yourself.
Yes.
Just made the game a little bit too easy.
Yeah, it's
Where you
like
didn't
almost God mode towards the end.
Yeah, you didn't really need it all, And even that whole worm thing, the worm battle, I was just like, it just felt like I was just rapidly pressing buttons just to get through it, and somehow I fucking got through it. I was just like, oh wow.
But it was
cool.
kind of like how the first one was, because the minute that thing touched you, you were dead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Like you didn't get a second chance with that guy.
Yeah,
So
which I enjoyed.
I did appreciate that. I didn't appreciate.
Yeah, I enjoyed the whole
14
difficulty
new
of
gray
that.
hairs
Yeah,
I got, but I definitely appreciated it.
yeah. Well, thank you, Chad.
Well, hold on.
All
I
right,
have
sorry.
one last question.
Sure.
So, are we all getting matching Ori tattoos?
No. Well, I told Chad last time I was at the shop, I was like, oh, I'm thinking about getting Ori next on my sleeve, and now I'm taking that back. I don't think I want Ori on my sleeve.
Really?
Yeah, no.
I don't know. I think I would totally get Ori or the little owlet.
What if
Maybe even Baby
what if
Shriek.
you got a similar background of an Ori background in the background of
Yeah, I might be down for that. I mean,
that would
you'd
be
have
really
to look
pretty.
at that
That
to
way,
see if it's too.
the element of Ori would be there without actually.
Yeah, I'd totally be down.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'd be down with
That's
that.
a
Yeah.
good idea.
Do you make musical tattoos? Like, could you just put the music on his arm That would be cool.
No, that just sounds dumb.
Wow.
Um,
Innovative to some.
no, actually,
asshole.
When it comes to tattoos and Ori, though, I told Kaila this morning, I was like, if I did get an Ori tattoo, which I know you probably wouldn't want to tattoo this on me, but like something on the side of my head.
Sounds dumb.
Where it's like Ori like jumping up on my ear, like on the outside of my ear, like on my skull.
Yeah.
Like where he's just like trying to like get up. That would be cool. But yeah, probably not doing that either. I don't know. We'll see.
Well, in all reality, you should probably wait until the whole series of Oris are out and done and the game is no longer functioning as a new game coming out before you take the step of getting him done. Because what if there's something cooler in later games that might be a better idea for a tattoo?
No, by that time, I'll probably be like 45.
Yeah, I'm past that.
Yeah.
Is there an age limit to when you can get tattoos?
Fair enough. All right.
It's 40 the cutoff?
I don't know.
Oh, God. I need tattoos.
Yeah. Well, Chad, thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Chad.
Thanks for having me on here. That was great. I definitely had fun.
Dude, it was so much fun. I would love to have you back on where we actually talk about you and your gaming life experience, which I meant to mention in the beginning, but I didn't, so fuck it.
Hey, there's always another time.
We'll just keep you around.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I'll be around. Don't worry.
We know that.
Yeah.
So where can people find you if they want to check out your like tattoos and stuff like that?
In quarantine right now. On the Instagram, I got a portfolio. It's Chagiver, Chagiver on Instagram. I have a portfolio on Facebook, but I don't ever get on that anymore. So I honestly, that's Instagram. Instagram is probably the way to go to see stuff like that. Yeah.
And I would pronounce it as Chagiver.
Really?
Yeah, I never pronounced it Guyver.
I never did that.
Chagiver, like MacGyver, but with the ch on it.
Yeah, never.
I've never made that connection.
No, really?
Never. Until you just did it, yeah. Nope.
Yeah. Yeah, it's because I always could fix things with things that you weren't supposed to fix things
That's for sure. You're definitely able to fix things.
So that was...
Like my sister's one tattoo.
Oh, God.
Oh, my God.
That's a podcast in and of itself.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. Do you remember that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, with the grandmas on the arm. Oh, God.
Oh, poor grandma.
All right. Well, with that said, thank you, Chad.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Thank you, Kaila.
Of course.
This was fun doing Ori and the Will of the Wisps. Hopefully we can do more of these happy hour podcasts and have you back as well, Chad. So
that'd be great.
Have a good night, everyone, and enjoy Ori.
Hey, be safe. Wash your hands.
Yep. We out.
See ya.